Viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's live stream, we're gonna have a very interesting discussion about my 31st trip around the sun. So let's dive right into it. I'm waiting for incognito window to tell me that audio and video is working. If I'm waiting for it, it may take 20 seconds. I think YouTube has gone back to the old system, so lag is extreme. Let's dive right into it. I'm waiting for incognito window to tell me that audio and video is working. Okay, so as of now, I assume audio and video is working, right? Poseidon, it's quite mean that you already wrote audio video okay before the stream even started. I cannot verify whether it's actually working or not. I do apologize for a bit of a bad audio because there is no power, so I have to run the fan. So is the audio okay? Or like should I turn it off? Otherwise start sweating like. Is anybody on? Hold on. The stream started, concurrent view. Comments are open, so testing. All good. Okay. Okay, so I'm assuming everything is fine, everything is dandy. So let's have a talk. So this week I had a very weird and expensive experience simply because if you watched my Computer Wednesday videos, I have talked about the fact that if you buy a cutting edge computer, it's generally not well suited for basically, work operation kind of scenario. The reason is Vipul Kumar is not my name, my man. My name is Anupam Vipul. I had this RAM stick, Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB. Now this is DDR5, not DDR4, and I bought it around a year ago. So quite new system and quite flagship. Even when I bought it during maximum peak shortage, it was still not cheap, and right now also it's not very cheap. However, this defected. There was two sticks, and one day ago something bad happened, and it was like nope. So I opened it up. Now you may be like, okay, what can we do if you have something like this? Well, generally you can do what we call RMA, return to authorized merchandise, or something like that. So I did the RMA. Now here's the problem, because I bought a kit. So I did not buy this one piece and then buy another piece. I bought all of this as a kit. So when I'm doing RMA, the company is demanding that they receive both of them. Now problem with that is that means my system will be turned off. And again, shipping is fast in India, but not that fast. It still would take at least 1 week to 2 weeks to get the computer back on running. So that was unacceptable. 2 weeks downtime in terms of computer, that's just like and because it's DDR5, it's not that cheap that I can just buy more of it. So, and again, I can buy more DDR5 RAM, but not this quality. Return merchandise authorization, yeah, maybe that. So that created an issue where it's like, what the hell to do with this? So thankfully or unthankfully, Corsair does have a return policy where you can put a very big deposit. In my case, it was 20,000 rupees. So the amount of money I paid around 18,000 when I bought it in chip shortage. So that plus GST, they rounded it off to 20,000. I have to pay Corsair, meaning I already made the payment. Then they will ship me the replacement diamond. The moment I get the replacement, I put it in my computer and then return this, both of them, because again, the RMA will only work if both are returned. So I have to do that. That should, in principle, allow me to basically have my system running on 16 GB of RAM. And when the new system comes in, I replace both of them. Downtime is minor. That's the ideal scenario, but holy damn, nowadays 16 GB is just not enough. Computer consumes way too much. I mean, like even Google Chrome itself is taking way too much power. So power as in RAM wise. So this is very weird and heavy. Anurag ji, hello to you, hi to you. So RMA means return merchandise authorization. Yeah, I know that. I did that. This is not my first RMA. I have done RMA of few hard drives. I've done RMA of a pen drive, and this would be the most expensive RMA because again, I have a very giant amount of money put into security. And ironically, this would be the time when using a credit card would have been awesome, because the money would not have left my account from savings, it would have left from credit. And credit, I do get like I think 60 days of time as a grace period to return the money. And so all this process would have been done in 2 to 3 weeks maximum, and then voila. So my savings would not have dipped and no issue. But unfortunately, there was no easy way of transferring credit to account or credit directly to UPI. I do not have a Visa cannot do this. You have to have RuPay credit card, then you can do that. Or some select banks do have this option. Unfortunately, my bank did not, so that created an issue. It's like making money is one part, spending the goddamn money is another part. So that was a very painful experience 2 days ago, where Platinum Dominator, and they do not even have anywhere on the box how long is the warranty. Like I genuinely think it's lifetime warranty or something like that. Use Opera GX instead of Chrome. It's lighter. Yeah, that could be done. But again, it's like that's a short-term fix. And if I actually want to do work on my system, either by Lightroom or Adobe Premiere or something like that, or Blender or Fusion 360, 16 GB is just not enough nowadays. And because my old system is built around Google systems, it's like, might as well do it. But it's a good tool. But I think another problem is Microsoft also. Microsoft Windows is way too heavy nowadays. If you are talking about lightest, you just use Edge. Yeah, that could also be because it's integrated. It's already using the modules that are already active for the operating system. So it could be an option. But it's a weird thing. Like I thought there would be a time where it's like, you will have enough RAM that most of the RAM would be empty. But it's like somehow we are finding bloat to keep into it. It's just like it's bloating. And again, or some third party like Opera Brave or something like. Yeah, I'm dealing with sir. I am dealing with a question. Interesting. So yeah, that's browsers are an option. And another problem was again while doing rendering and all that, it would not be just okay. My old hard drive is dead and now not detecting. How can I recover data? Yeah, you can't. Unless you physically open it up, replace its parts, it's not gonna happen that easily. So you have to give it to what we call professional data recovery, or you can try to do it by yourself, but the likelihood of success is almost zero. So it's better to give it to your professional, so to say. Two light bulbs, assuming both have same resistance and series. How is your friend Shivendar? No, Shivendar and I have parted ways. He went his different way. I went his different way. I was in a different place in life to participate. Do the experiment and figure it out. Like I cannot understand your question, Ashwin. ASHWIN, Ashwin. I cannot truly understand your question either. You have to draw it out for me to understand it. Otherwise, that. Hello, sir. Happy birthday to you. All the best to you. No, my birthday was yesterday, 28 June. Yes, it's the same date as Elon Musk. So 28 June was my birthday, and this is basically I covered. 31st year is complete on this planet, so that part is done. Um, so at this point in time, this was like this week was quite full of experience. Where it's like, okay, this happened. That was a very now be mindful. I've already done the payment, so it's a there is a giant hole in my bank account now. On top of that, freaking if you actually want to do electronics, which I want to do, how is possible? How is possible? How is possible? I have no idea if either you draw it or you experiment with it. I have no idea of like what you are trying to say, and you are using English, which is very hard. Either use full Hindi or use full English, because I did not know that chat era. I did not know learn how to read basically English. So, for example, in this case scenario, I need adapters for basically fan headers. Where is the fan headers? Yeah, these fan headers. Now, fan headers are quite niche item. You cannot just buy them. Now, the pin spacing is common, so I can use other JXT connectors and things of that nature to work, but that's fine. But if you want a proper fan header that is for PC fans, it's so rare that you can only buy that in DigiKey, Mouser, things of that nature. Now, trying to buy from them led me to a reality that most international shopping firms will not allow debit cards. They will only allow credit card. And even though they on paper have wire transfer, that wire transfer is impossible for me to solve. So that led to a scenario where I had to get a credit card. Okay, I did that. That was painful, but I did that. Now, after they have shipped it, because of the credit card was brand new. This was the first payment I did with my credit card, DigiKey. I bought basically fan controller IC and a lot of headers. It failed. And I was like, what the hell? And after it failed, I got a call from my bank. It's like, hey, we think this is your first time using it. We want to verify that it's you and all that. Okay, so they verified it, but the card was already declined from DigiKey's point of view. DigiKey said that you can have two more tries. I tried it, and both of them failed for one reason or another. And then I had another call with basically Bank of India. It's like, what the hell is happening? They're like, hey, your international transaction is disabled. I'm like, you called me to verify. You could have told me at that time that international is disabled, but like that wasted time. So three tries have been done. DigiKey is showing that all thing is done. Like it's blocked, so to say. And then it was like, okay, I'll duplicate the order. Then I paid because this time I have opened everything up. Settings was done. Everything was fine. Everything went by. The parcel is on way. It should reach India in 1 or 2 days. So that is fine. But unfortunately, that last order that I cancelled, it was not properly cancelled. It was in limbo, and it magically activated 72 hours later, and voila, it drained money account from my credit card. And this really pissed me off that it happened in 3:20 p.m. I pinged them in 3:24 p.m. Like basically in 4 minutes. Once I realized that money actually was drained, where it went. Once I figured it out, I directly went to DigiKey customer support to like, hey, can you cancel that part? They're like, nope. Like I had like 1 hour of discussion back and forth, the senior, escalation and all that. Outcome was like, nope, 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 nope. It was like really painful. I'm like, bro, you have not shifted. No, we have shifted the warehouse, so we cannot do it in back in the old days. We could have done that, but it's like painful. Like it was very painful because here's the even if they abandon the DHL package, which they had the option, problem was because it's an international system. I think they have already made the paper, and they do not have a way of retracting it. It's like I would have still had to pay, even if nothing is coming. I had to pay for what you call customs. So I'm like, it was very well. Let's assume we have to like, hey, see, Ashwin, don't assume and all that. Just build the damn thing. Like, just build the damn thing. You can go round and round, and you can build it, test it out, and go ahead. Draw it on a paper. It will simplify it. Because I'm not understanding what you're actually trying to do. Yeah, you can keep going about this bulb and all that. I'm not helping you. Like you have to draw it on at a paper. Only then I can at least even understand what you're talking about. And AC and DC behaves a bit differently. On top of that, your basically current draw is not linear on things. Current draw could change based on the voltage applied. So not sufficient as like you can write a whole essay. I will not get what you're trying to say. So either draw it on a paper and then we'll understand. I'm not understanding it. That's why after reading, I'm telling you that I'm not understanding what you're trying to say. Uh, your views on Mouse Utopia. Mouse Utopia was quite a spectacular, basically in-depth study of psychology that we have never done. It's like, because you have to understand, we are talking about scarcity civilization, right? Everything about humans were coming from scarcity. In 1950s and 60s, this was the first time, just after World War II, there was a probability that we could reach a point where we will no longer have scarcity, right? We'll have everything. We'll have enough food, enough water, enough housing, enough. Basically, we could reach the point of enough. Now that was a idea, that was a hope. Now here's the problem: could we actually handle that? Like that's another question. It's like, okay, let's assume we have it, whatever we need. Can we handle that? So my Mouse Utopia was tried from that, and the results were horrifying. That it will lead to disintegration of everything. Like social cohesion will not work, structures will not function, family units will fall apart. Basically, we cannot live in a world where we do not have enough scarcity. Basically, if we have like truly utopias will not work. I think this is the core dialogue of what we call Matrix. It was like, the first world built for computers, built by computers for humans were utopia. Everything was perfect, but humans broke it apart. So that's the whole point, is like you cannot have a true utopia. If you do, humans will go crazy in that. And again, there was no reason for what happened to happen, but it did happen. So it was a very unique way of like, seen things. So it's a really good study, case study of what could happen when you have everything. And another thing also goes that it's like why religion fails once you actually have prosperity. But when you have oppression and all that, all religions thrives. And then turns out religion has to have oppression. Like this is what Dune is trying to show. It's like why Freemans were so religious. Well, they had to be because their living condition was so miserable. It's one of those very intricate understanding of life itself, where it was like, and because it was done on mouse, you may like it will not apply to human. No, all the essence is literally applying to a modern society today. So it's damn good of a what you call case study. Like we did that and we did not expect the results, and it was like whoa. So that was really good. When Indian men understand the law and leave women, that will not happen. So see, this is what we call another natural culling, meaning there are two types of men. So assume DNA one has the wisdom where it's like, okay, if the game is rigged, the only way to win is not to play. The other part is, it does not matter, it will not happen to me. Now, how will nature fix it? Well, run the simulation, and then the one that learns and adopts will survive. Not survive. This is like a dead end scenario, but it's like less suffering. The one that is like, no, we'll keep doing the like definition of insanity. They will suffer more. Nothing more than that. It's like basically natural selection is applying a filter here. It's not what you call. There's not much thinking to it, if you will. Is there any future as the population grows up? Am I really tensed about it? Why are you worried about it? Like, genuinely think about it. It's like, why are you acting like the sole proprietor of this planet? You're not. Like, don't take the load that does not belong to you. It's like, there is a nice dialogue from Adam Savage. It's like, not your circus, not your monkey. It's not your problem. And again, let's say India has a problem, family court problem, but that was built in 1984. I was not even alive. Yeah, they put a poison there, everything died, and like, yeah, the final death will happen 90 years from 20, basically 80. Hold on, let's calculate. So 1984 is the time when they added the poison. 1984 plus 90 years, that gives you 2074 is the time when India will have the last final stage. Japan is in the 60-year period, not 60, 40-ish years. So they are actually seeing the population extermination part. We are a bit behind schedule. So again, these were done before I was born. So I do not have to worry about it. It's like if you sell people wrong mathematics, bad things will happen, and I can't do anything about it. It's just like I can leave the equation, so to say. So how do you do you have any solution for population growth and low fertility rate acceptable for applicable for women? See, there's more than enough solution, but it will never be implemented. It's like a Soviet Union. Why the heck they collapsed? It's like there was solutions, but they had to give a power for it, and they were like, okay, let's everybody starve. It's the same thing. Can we solve it? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's all it will take me to reset the law. That's all I need to do. 5 minutes. Done. But that won't be done. So that's the whole point. That's why it's not your circus, not your monkey. Do not worry about it. Criticism, good or bad, depends on the tool and use cases. Are you going to make a video on upcoming chip from Intel and AMD launch in benchmarks come out? Nah, I'm not that. Like when I was running the old method, every Wednesday I had to do anything. So I would have covering any small news also. But if now I have let it kind of a different kind of approach where it's like it has to be interesting. Like I'm covering Nvidia because I wanted to share some perspective that I've gained with watching things for so long that I wanted to share. So I will cover on that. AMD and Intel thing, if it's interesting, genuinely good, then I will cover it. Of course, I'll cover it. So I want to know what all we can do with old laptops and old phones. Not much, like not really much. Depends how old. Like I have my old PC that's like my first computer that's like 15-ish years old. It's too old to be useful. I did waste money into it trying to make it into a NAS, but it was like just too wasteful. So that did not work out. Again, another laptop, again, same year, 15-year-old, my brother's laptop, but it was too old. So there is a point where trying to use old hardware becomes so cumbersome, so painful. It's like, might as well not try it. It's much better to buy a newer, cheaper hardware and get everything modern. Like, for example, the first PC I had not even gigabit Ethernet. It was available at that time, but for some reason, my system did not have it. The processor, Intel Core 2 supported it. The chipset supported it. The motherboard did not. So so there is a different kind of scenario where it's like I could not truly do it. Then I thought like it's so old, the computer is so old, it does not only have PCI Express, it has PCI card slot. So I put a PCI card slot, then it was like it only had two SATA ports. So like if this problem is solved, then this problem, this, like at the end I was just like, no, It's just not worth it. So I abandoned that. I could use my old PC, which is DDR3. It has enough modern amenities that I could use it. But I'm not sure whether I should try to do that, or should I try to get a newer, lower power PC? Because again, if I'm trying to make a NAS or some sort of network monitoring device, it has to work 24 into 7. So that's one of those things. Criticism, 3 years is working fine. Yeah, then you can use it for like desktop. NAS is one of the best use. Network monitoring is the second best use. Laptop, same thing. Media option, but here's the like, it's generally better to convert it into a desktop, a laptop. A laptop that is broken, you can convert it into a desktop, a low power desktop, which could act as a good backup, or some security system. Like if you have a security camera, generally processing power in the computer is high enough where you can actually handle much higher resolution cameras and all that. So that's an option. But realistically, if users are limited, you can't really do much. Like think it through. If there is not enough users, you can't do much with it. Uh, he started he's studying geography and stuff, and but started arguing, can't help those who have already made up their mind. That's the sad part. Geography, actually, to be fair, the only people who should know that dam causes basically rivers to disappear is the people who are dealing with hydrology. Hydrologist, I think that's the term for them. So they should know. But again, it does show a very serious what you call lack of understanding in educated people. So that means we are in serious danger. If people do not know it, a politician can sell it. We're gonna build dams because that's what China did. It's like China is drowning. Literally every rainy season they have very worst flood, and every summer they have the worst drought because of dams. And people are like, we want dams. It's like, no, you do not. Dams are like short-term system. Again, we tried it, we built it, we learned from it that it's not a good solution. We thought it will be awesome, but we did. And global warming is like, bitch, your calculation was 30 years it's gonna take to boil off. Watch me, I'm gonna do that in 10 years. So that's a very serious what we call limitation of human psyche, so to say. Uh, Lion T. Yeah, it's just the box name. Oh, somebody donated it. This is the first time for English channel. Let's see. Uh, what do you think about electronic currencies like e-rupee, e-dollar, central bank, digital currency? Will it replace cash? It will reduce the cash usage, but it will not replace it. And be mindful, nowadays almost all transaction is wire transfer anyway. So money is not real, like as in like the cash, actual cash value. Uh, that has been changed for so long ago that it's like at this point everything is virtual, so might as well enjoy the full benefit of the virtual world. Manish Kumar, you have paid 101 rupees. Thank you so much. Pay to S2T at the rate UPI. Okay, you wrote the basically remark as just the whole sentence. Thank you so much. But I think you set it for Hindi channel. Okay, anyway, I hope you are watching. I was asking solution. I was asking solution because I'm aware myself. Can I suggest one or two of them? See, you can suggest whatever you want. I'm not the first man. Let that be very clear. I'm not the first man who is detecting this is the problem. And let me be very clear as I can be. It's worst for women. Short term, they're gonna enjoy. Long term, they will become for lack of a better term, what exactly happened to Afghanistan. See how happy the women are. There is no feminism there. They are so, so much peace, no issue, no problem. That will happen to India, and again to basically Japan also. And again, same thing happened to Iran. So it's one of those things that we know where it leads. We know the outcome. It's not of a the reason why I say let women go is not because like you are harmful. It's simply because nobody likes you so much that they will bitch slap you to fix yourself. Like I had good teachers. When I did something stupid, they bitch slapped my ass. And again, they have to do that. And again, that's the whole job of parenting. That's the whole job of discipline. That's the whole job of a culture. It's like when you do something truly, remarkably stupid, we say like, whoa, no. But if people do not do that, things get out of hand. So that's the whole point. That's why, like, and be mindful. There is a woman that I used to respect a lot, and I do not know whether she's active or not. She had a very amazing YouTube channel known as Girls Write What That was her channel name. Girls Right What. She was what we call MRA, if you will, men's right activist. There are more than enough women. More than enough women have wisdom to know that what the path that they are walking on right now leads to extreme poof, for lack of a better term. Like it's literally running a train, poof. That's the output of it. More than enough women know this. But collectively, it's like it's one of those things. That's the whole point. It's like I'm not the first person. Like that's why I say, like, not my monkey, not my circus, not my monkey. It's like more than enough people, more than wise people, more men, women, old people. Everybody was warning their ass off. It's like, dude, what the route that we are taking, like in case of India from 1984, it's not going to, like, end up well. It's gonna be in a bad position. But nobody listened. So I'm like, I'm out. That's all I'm offering to you guys. Go to family court near you, see what's what, and after that, if your ego is like, no, it will never happen to me, take the risk. Either it works out or you rot. Take the risk. You think population collapse is a big concern, but do we really need population growth if there is eventually going to be replaced with automated AI? Here's the deal. AI is not magic. Mass production is not magic. These things require consumption economy. Consumption have to occur. And again, billionaires are not gonna, like, farm the crops and all that. A pyramid can only exist as long as there is base, right? You have a pyramid, you need to have a base. If there is no base, nothing happens. And again, you could create a cascading failure where whole humanity goes extinct. So that's the scary part. Let that be very clear. Nobody is like, oh, population will shrink. No, population will disappear. That's the problem. And nowadays, the modern world is so complex that only few people know how to run this all. Meaning, there are 15, 16 people who are running the electrical grid. There are 60, 70 people who are running the water system. 100 to 200 people who are running the oil infrastructure. Again, if I remove these people, just poof it, literally the whole country will collapse. So when people are talking about like population collapse, they are not talking like in terms of, oh, we will have less people. No, you will not have any people left. Cascading failure will happen because again, farming cannot be done by one person. So all those things have a very serious, what you call, uh, effect, what you call long-term effect, as in like how we build a dam is not on year one that your river disappears. It's slowly over time that river disappears. So same thing will happen with what you call population. So Japan would be like, yeah, we are fine, and then it'll become the Islamic country, like exactly like Iran. Iran did not had Islam as a primary religion. I did not even knew this. Like this is very new to me, and I'm like, damn. But then again, Afghanistan was also not like what it is right now. There was a time it was so open that basically, if I'm not mistaken, Steve Jobs went there to actually open his mind, and I'm like, what? But again, world changes. I was asking solution because I'm okay. You think okay? Should children be given mobile phones who are under 18, 21? See, if all of their colleagues have it, it will be a very detrimental psychological side effect to them if they do not have it. Meaning, if I have my child and I'm like, no, you cannot have it, but every single friend he has that, then it's not a viable system. It's a very serious torturing situation to them. We are collective creatures, meaning we have to be have more or less the same things that everybody else has. Oh, someone has that. I want to buy a printer IC and see S-Pen L6270, your review on it. What I need like that. How it's going now? Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's working. I'm happy with it. But if you do not need scanner and all that, buy a different photo variant that has the ability to burn image on the CD itself. You can put a basically. I do want to buy that. Uh, but it's like it's so wasteful. Buy a printer just so I can burn images on CDs. And again, I have optical drive, like actual DVD, Blu-ray, and I do want to. That's the only way to do data archiving for long term, which is passive. So I do want to do it. It's just that it's very expensive to buy a new printer just so I can do that. And again, I have to buy discs that are supporting that have white side on it. Uh, hold on. Hold on, I'm checking the B map. Okay, KA Karan Singh. Karan Singh, you have sent me 200 rupees. Thank you so much. Please let me know if we can meet in Bangalore. I no longer live in Bangalore. That was like 6 years ago, my man. If I come to Bangalore, I'll announce it. And I think the last time I was in Bangalore, that was 1.5 year ago, when I went to Bangalore Indian Institute of Technology. No, Indian Institute of Science. Yeah, IIS, Indian Institute of Science for CO2 supercritical turbine. So that was the last time I was in Bangalore. But I'm not. I do not live in Bangalore currently. And please don't ask where I live. I will not share that. Uh, Watching president debate is fun. I wonder how would it be ever happen in India? We do have parliament have camera, you can watch that, so it's not that what is the quote on your cup? Uh, a hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. A lion is called king of beast, obviously, for a reason. Okay, the first line was interesting, but second was not. 14%, 14 watching, good progression. Yeah. And again, it does take time to for people to get habituated to the fact that there will always be a live stream. It will be on Saturday. It will be 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So it will take time, but I do have hopes. I do have hopes. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. Can you explain the situation? No, no, no. I have to go into a rabbit hole. That Afghan and Iran situation. Like, be mindful. The current situation that is in Iran, that's not their original state. That they had a different religion. It's what we call takeover. It's like it's an example of a modern takeover. Like how we study, like back in the days, that people used to have their own religion. Then, Catholic Empire, Roman Empire, just like destroyed it, everything, and they're just like, okay, now everything under one system. So same thing happened to them in real time. Like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, just after World War II that happened. So there are historians who have done a very good analysis on that. I would be like a very surface level if I even try to do that. But it's a very deep rabbit hole. You should look into it if you're interested. And I installed Windows 11 on my PC, but as soon as got they are using the same task manager and put skin to make it look modern, curvy things, and use extra resources. Yeah, I would say the Windows now no longer gives me a feeling that like there is an effort put into it where it's like, let's polish this puppy. There is no more effort like that. Any plans on coming to Bangalore? Not anytime soon. So until they stop providing security updates, I'm sticking to Windows 10. But what is your experience with Windows 11? Does it even have good start menu? Not really. But it is what it is. It's like I've reached a point where it's like, it's it is what it is. Like, I'm gonna work around it. It's like, if you want your work done, you want your work done. That's the primary thing. And more things are being done online, so I can live. Short-term solution to unemployment problem. See, unemployment is not a problem. Problem is, if you watch our media, you watch our politicians, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is talking about we need jobs. It's like there is no such thing as jobs. Okay, there is no such thing. All there is business. So once business grows, then they hire people. Those are the things that we call job. Now, why Indians are so hell bent on job? Well, in the early era of 1990, lot of IITians went abroad, like specifically in America and Europe, and they became GG. If you are watching any American CEOs, if you ever wondered what year they came, generally 1990s. So that created a flood of a lot of people pouring into IIT and trying to replicate that. Now, it did work. It did work in the early years where they're like, okay, America had so much surplus demand that we kept supplying it. But again, they reached saturation few years ago, and then it's like, okay, what else? But we never truly milked the horsepower of IIT, where it's like, okay, let's make corporations here, let's make companies here, let's make conglomerates here. We just like everything. Everybody was clearing IIT just for one thing: get a job. It's like if everybody did that, nobody will have a job. It's the same fallacy that people who ran Soviet Union did. That is like government will provide job. Government cannot provide job. Government is like a lubrication oil. But your businesses, your corporation, your trades, these things are your fuel oil. They are your petrol and diesel. They run, and then they're like, hey, we need some safety and security. They're like, okay, we got your army, we got your basically police force. So one would be for internal, one would be for external. We'll take tax for it, right? And like, hey, I need trading. I need to move goods from here to there. Okay, I got your fam. We're gonna build roads. We're gonna build railways. That's the job of a government. But government job is always built on top of private enterprise, so to say. Private enterprise has to exist. Government cannot do this. It would be like, you cannot do this. Like, you cannot feed yourself. It's like it's not gonna work. So Fundamentally, that's why Indians are like, kind of stuck in that mind, right? Because in the 1990s we saw, you go to IIT, you go America. Then it was like, you go IIT, you go to Europe. It's like, okay, but now what? They have reached saturation. Now what? It's like, we have to make jobs and we are like lost. So that's the reason why India has such issue, because we do not have, it's not talent, it's balls. We need balls where people are just like, let me try it. Either it works or it does not work. Let me try it. The more people will try it, the more likely it will happen. Afghanistan was already Islamic nation before Taliban. See, different types of it. There is a different, what we call, you should watch this. Saudi Arabia had a very good, interesting press conference, and it's like there is a very big difference with Muslims and Muslim to Muslim. There is a very big difference. Like Arab, Saudi Arabia did that, and it was a very poignant discussion. I would urge you to look into that. Like, not all things are the same. Like how Christians have their denominations inside them, and like some Christians are very chill, some Christians are very hardcore. Same thing goes with them. Apple or Windows, which is better, depending on your use case. It depends on your use case. Yeah, no longer snappy. Yeah, that's the whole point. Windows no longer feels like the XP was like, I think I remember I was very young when I jumped from like the first time XP computer. I was like, whoa, like it felt good. But after that, it was like, I went to from XP, I went to Vista, then I Vista to 7, 7 to 8. I think 8 happened, 8.1. Then it became blah 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 blah. So yeah, I remember. Agreed your point of getting work done. Hmm. Yeah. I think West Bengal is going to be Muslim within 30 years. Let's see. Again, see, all these things, all these changes that what we call macro scale changes, it's not Anupam Vipul's concern. I'm not a god, nor it's my issue. Whereas, like, I've seen what my elders did in 1984, and I'm like, peace, me out. I'm out. I'm out, sir. I'm not gonna suffer because of your stupidity. I'm like, I'm out. Like, if you are offering me lifelong suffering and peaceful death, I'll choose peaceful death. Me out. So I have already made my peace with it. It's up to other people who are like, keep chugging along. I have made peace with it. Off topic, there may be people believing that after Mahabharata, India lost their glory, and also you're not spending for since 2000 years. What's your point? Yeah, that is true. Factually true. Like, Mahabharata is a real event. The bloodshed was very significant, and people who are left after that, basically what is said again. We do not have time machines, so we cannot go and precisely how unbalanced happened. But the likelihood was, we had four castes. Two were lower, two were higher. Now, two highers had Pandits and Kshatriya. So these Pandit and Kshatriya, they were counterbalanced to each other. Meaning, if you had one goes too much, another will bring it down. And again, that's how the seesaw effect was there. It was balanced. Now, what happened in Mahabharata? Too many Kshatriya died. Like, too many. Like, way too much. The blood loss was brutal. Let's just put it that way. Like, the bloodshed was like, whoa. So that happened, and then unbalanced the situation. So Pandit gained too much unchecked power. There was no counterbalance to it. Basically, a democracy where you do not have two party. So that created a spiral event where things were not balanced and things got out of hand. But again, I do not count India before 75 years ago, simply because that's our new track. Like, game save, delete all those system, let's start fresh. And we did many amazing things in last 75 years, many amazing things. We still just stuck with our core. The core is the issue. We need balls. Everything else, we got it. Money, we got it. Talent, bro, don't even worry about it. Healthcare, don't worry about it. We got this, fam. Everything we got it. We just lacks the balls, where people are like, let me try. Whether it works or it does not work, let me goddamn try. And this is one thing that America has that people do not understand. Like, oh, America is so stupid and all that. It does not matter. America is the one place that is known for one thing: overconfidence. Now, here's the deal. There is no such thing as overconfidence. There is only such thing as failure. If you fail, you are overconfident. If you succeed, you are always so confident. So if Elon Musk was like, I'm gonna land rockets, people are like, what kind of overconfidence you have, man? And now they're like, what kind of visionary you are? That's what America has. It's like, balls to the walls. Let's try it. It works, does not work, does not work. And that's why they are the, like, the horsepower of the planet, so to say. And again, that's the part that they have got. Everything else is destroyed. Healthcare gone, education gone, family unit nuked from orbit. But this is one thing they still have, and that's why every passport goes to there. Like China's passport, everything goes there. That's the primary reason for it. Yeah. Okay. Yes, he is our great point of getting work done. Off topic, okay. I subscribed to your channel a long time ago, so, but didn't watch any videos. Suddenly started watching the last videos last 5 months. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes people get busy and things happen. And again, there is a barrier between me uploading and you getting to see it. There is what we call algorithm. So algorithm may decide to, like, not for you or something like that. So that's an issue. Even SMEs create more job than large corporation in total. Yeah, that's the whole part. See, corporation will hire small companies now. Corporation is not magic, right? Let's say you say Tata, right? They have a lot of small companies that are building bearings for them, building steel screws for them. All of those things are happening, right? So job is being created. Again, it's not a perfect one-to-one, but again, compared to what? There is no other option. Government cannot create jobs. Government is like, hey, if we have trade requirement, if people are willing to pay for the services, then we can have railway, then we can have some jobs in the railway. But that's why, like, this minds that we are stuck. We are basically a dog chasing its own tail. That's why we are stuck so badly. I think your videos are good, but you are a bias. Every human has bias. Get over it. Every human has bias. I can try to reduce it, but cannot eliminate it. And again, I, I apply, I basically put what I'm thinking to you. And I do urge the same thing. Filter the damn thing. That's why, again, even in my family case matters, I always say the one thing, do not listen to me, do not listen to your parents. Go to the place who has authority over you. Like, that's how I keep my bias outside of the equation. It's like, you can do it. And again, that's another reason why I talk about past so much. It's like, okay, things happen. Only then I talk about it. Do you want to make, don't you think that market is efficient and government should have least interference in any sector? Again, government's job is like a lubrication where they're like, if something becomes unbalanced, government's job is like, hey, bro, chill. That's the government's job, to chill out, like, to make sure that competition remains, because it's a very hard thing to do so. Again, that's why we pay taxes. That's the government's job, but not to actually run things, to maintain. But that's what I'm saying. Now think in this way: fuel oil versus lubrication oil. Government is lubrication oil. In India, SUV sales are increasing over hatchbacks or sedan. But if a prediction is hit by an SUV, there will be more 3 times more chances of that. Also, Indians are taking high loans for car. It's personal choice. Again, if you are doing something that is harmful to you, you are responsible for it. It's like, again, I do not believe in any state where somebody else controls what you do, because that's a very slippery slope. It's like, you should, by default, by law, should have the right to do something stupid, as long as you are not harming someone else within the framework of the reality. I like framework, but where its battery is not good. Based on what? Based on what? Like, you have to provide some context. How is the game industry going to be affected by AI? It's going to be a very interesting thing to see. Right now, do not worry too much about it, but it will take time. I would say 5 to 6 years, because be mindful, I did work in gaming industry and they are really, really behind schedule. Meaning, let's say there was a new technology of shader invented. It's called physics-based rendering. It was there. You can build game engines out of it. Everything was done. We were making portfolio piece before I got the job, and after I got the job, I was working in games and all that. They were not using it, and I'm like, why? It's like, yeah, they will work it in 5 years later, like next engines and all that. So it's one of there is a very serious lag period. So once the lag period is crossed, then I will see something very interesting happening. You are saying India does not have the balls and keeps then it keeps because politics or bureaucrats or context, please. Balls as in, like, Indians are not known for what you call. We are known for hardworking. We are known for basically mathematics. We are not known for balls. Balls as in, like, oh, just throw something. Think about it. Like ISRO, right? India's flagship premier rocket, corporation. What they are doing? Literally, not exaggeration. Literally, they are like, hey, what if we buy ancient design from Soviet Union? That's when the design was built. And again, the Soviet Union got dissolved. The Ukraine had it. We got the design from them and then keep reworking that, rather than like other companies like Rocket Labs, Stock Space, all these companies. Let's build our own goddamn engines. It blew up. No problem. Let's keep building it until it works. That's what I mean when I'm talking about balls. It's like, we do not have that collective oomph, where it's like, let's try something unknown. We are very scared of unknowns. It's like, what if we fail? It's like we became failure because of that. Uh-huh. Please share a Google Sheet for expense management. It's not expense management. I download the banking app. My bank, basically, that's why I switched my banks. I used to have Federal Bank, but it did not give CSV output, comma separated value output. So I switched to Bank of India. It has CSV output. So I collect the whole CSV output. So basically, 1 month transaction happens, boom, I dump that data. Basically, I will do that in next, basically, Monday is the first. So I'll do it on 7th July. 7th June, July, yeah, 7th July. I'll download all the files from my Beam app and all that, and then I'll have all the text file. That's it. That's all I need. And after that, I write it like I spent it on this. It's nothing complex or fancy. Do that, and then and I might make a video on that. I think that may be interesting. I could give some, if people are very sketchy on it, like I can give them starting point. What should we do in a condition where I have to do work because in order to get what when I do work, it will be badly affect me? What should we do in condition where I have to do a work because I get order, and when I do what I work, it will badly affect me? Welcome to the world. That's the whole point of ethics. You have to make that decision. That's why I said ethics is not a collective system. You have to live with the consequences. It works, awesome for you. If it does not work, sucks for you. Like, that's life. Everybody makes that decision. Every doctor, every soldier, every lawyer, they are going through that decision. Because of people society which I work, and if they didn't, I get bad image of my senior, which that will give me orders and friends and family. That's Israel also have balls. Yeah, that's factually true. Like, think it this way. Let's compare Israel to India. Israel goes into war in a very loosey situation. Nobody gives them a tanks because they are like, hey, you might lose if whole countries, like what countries? Egypt was the main player. Let's say Egypt and all Arab nations were trying to boom you. You will not last. And why we will give you tanks? Because that will leak to Soviet Union. So they're like, okay, we'll not give you tank. What did Israel did? Israel is like, okay, nobody gives us tank, no problem. We'll do the best we can do with the ancient technology. And then they build their own Merkava project. Merkava tank project. Now that tank is scary to Americans. Why it's scary to them? It's the only known tank project that was done ahead of schedule and under budget. This is kryptonite. This does not happen in American industry, but somehow they put. Now here's did we Indians try that? Yeah, many time we had the issue where Russia did not supply the tanks on time and all that. We start the project was known Arjun project, Arjun tank, and then like we started, then like it's like, then we get bored, we left it. And because Israel compare same thing, compare Israel is like, we're gonna keep working at it, and it was garbage. Tank was garbage. Then they keep working it. It became good. Then they kept working. It's like, okay, we are talking now. Then it became even good. Now they have a system that everybody is like, dude, for the work that it's based, like for the battlefield it is designed for, urban warfare, it's one of the best tank for the urban warfare environment. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about the balls part, like the having the guts to pull something through. Whereas, like, I'm gonna make Mark 1, it will be garbage. I accept that. I have the faith and balls to accept that risk. Then I'm gonna make Mark 2. Then I'm gonna make Mark 3. That part I keep saying about. Part 2, yeah, part 2 is coming soon. Man, gaming industry has got live 3D modeling. You must have seen that girl acting live and getting coverage into the games. No senior sensor, just a camera and done. I do not know which thing you are referring to. Food inflation is high. At what point will India implement large scale farming? Farming is not the issue. Quality of farming is. Farming is not an issue. And inflation is happening for something else. It's not that India has shortage of food. We are just prioritizing it differently. Look at the India's export is bonkersly high. Bonkersly. My father's friend's son is giving fifth attempt on NEET exam. Eat. One or two, I get it. One or two, I get it. Five is like 5 years, right? If I'm not mistaken, that means 5 years you have been doing this one thing. Bro, time does not come back. And if you waste this precious year, you will be very bitter even if you clear it. So that's a. What if Dhruva Rati became India's prime minister? Lol. In agriculture field, no company in India is making seed for seedless cucumber. All imports are. We need bulls. No. See, farming wise, we do not need what we call GMOs. What we need is organic farming. What do I mean by organic farming? Problem is that organic farming word has been co-opted so much, it's lost all the meaning. So what do I mean when I say it? I mean we have to do what we call zero till farming or no till farming or low till farming, meaning you do not destroy the soil every year. Okay, that's the first step. Second, you do cover crop. Third, you do crop cycle. All these three things done correctly over years starts to build healthy soil. You do not need GMO. Oh, this plant grows in less water. No, it does not. What it does is like redirects all the fuel that is supposed to use for root development. It dumps it into plants. Basically produce. Now, like I pay for produce. Yeah, you pay for 1 ton produce. But if you actually let the roots grow, every year roots acts as like a what you call compound interest variable. The deeper the root goes, the more water is becomes accessible, the more nutrition, more minerals becomes, the easier it becomes for next generation's crop for roots to grow. Again, every country is learning this. And again, those who have implemented it, who had the balls to implement it, because be mindful, year one would be loss, year two would be loss, year three, then you're like, okay, now I'm starting to see some progress. So zero till, no till, and again, it replaces horsepower with brain power. You have to study the soil. You have to figure out which cover crops is suited for your soil and how will you cycle all of those things. Once you do that, then you're like, bro, I do not have to use fertilizers or insecticides or pesticide as much as I would have used, and do it for 10 years. You're like, bro, what is this thing that people talk about pesticide and all that? Yeah, because have you ever wondered why the heck nature does not why this infections and this what you call pest, this pest thing that destroys farms does not manage to destroy basically forests? Why? Because forest has a defense grid known as mycelium network. That's what we have to implement it. Watch, I have already made a 3 detailed video on this. You can watch that and that will give you all the context. I don't know why many women destroy their own family with their ego's problem. See, you have to understand, if somebody loves you, only then they correct you. If nobody loves you, nobody will ever correct you. Like, let that sink in. Let that be very clear. People love me. That's why they correct me. My teachers, they saw potential in me. Only then they worked their ass off, bit slapping me. Again, I was very angry when I was young, but they saw potential. They're like, okay, this guy can do something. Let's work our ass off to get something out of him. And again, I saw another time. This was like a very visual reminder of this. There was me when I'm in institute making a 3D model, and my professor would be pretty much, it's not a teacher, let's just say, sir. He's like looking, it's like he's criticizing a lot. I was like, oh, dude, why are you doing? And then one other colleague did this. Again, we had the same asset to do. They did it, and he just looked at from, and he's like, he just walked away. And I thought, that means it's good. No. Then I looked at the, he explained to me, it's like, look into your distance. Like, you are reaching here and you can go higher. I want you to succeed. That's why I'm working your ass off. I saw nothing in them. And that was like, whoa. So if somebody loves you, only then they're like, dude, that, like, think in this way. There was a porn star, real life, you can check the video out. She had a discussion, it's like, how did porn affect your life? And she said, like, it was very fun, and at least again, mother and parents are divorced, and the father was against it and mother was for it. And she thought it, and then again, every started like how a feminist will imagine this will starting, it's like, freedom, boatload of money, everything is like, but then it started to like wear down on us. And then it's like, my father does not even talk to me, and he said, like, I do not want to be seen in public to you. It's like, and then she started saying, it's like, all my social interactions like this. And it's like, and think about it, who loved her? Her father that did not want her to go down this path, or her mother that allowed it because she got money out of it? That happened. Like, you can watch it. That's the whole point. If somebody loves you, only then they correct you. If nobody loves you, only then they're like, do whatever you want to do. So that's the whole thing. It's like, if nobody loves you, and again, why don't they love you? The darker question. It's like, what have you done that is so sinister that people are like, I'll let you go. Let's build bowls. My 5G speed is now 500 kbps in Bangalore in minus 98 dBm good signal. Yeah, I said now the mobile towers, if they get oversaturated from subscribers, the speed goes down drastically, and it won't be a mathematical description. Oh, I think somebody donated. Hold on. So if it's like let's say the fiber link that is going to the cell that is let's say 1 Gbps and they are dividing it to what you call let's say 1000, that means 1 year. Again, if it's designed for it, it can handle. But what happens if you 2000 it? Does not mean half. You will barely get quarter because its SOC is reaching its saturation limit, meaning now it has to wait too much for switching all the system. And again, they do design in such a way that it can handle overflow, but it cannot do overflow properly. Again, that's why it's called overflow. If it could do that, again, the cell will become more expensive. So that's the point. I think that main problem of female education is ego problem. It's not ego. Nothing to do with ego. It's for lack of a better term, it's somebody gave them a poison chalice. That poison chalice is Victim Olympics. And the irony of Victim Olympics is that you play it the first few years, awesome, profit. Then at the other end, you become the victim. You do not pretend to be, you become the victim. At that point, you no longer have a tongue. Basically, it's a reverse of the story. The boy who cried wolf is like the victim, the like, Victim Olympics. Yeah, welcome. Now you are actual victim and nobody cares about it. So it's like that. Ego is not, again, we always had ego. Ego is our encoded in DNA. So it's saying we have ego is like irrelevant. Debish. Debashis. Debish, 11 rupees you have donated. Thank you so much. It's from OK HDFC Bank, and unfortunately, remark is UPI. I would have wished you that you have given the remarks, but thank you. Happy birthday, sir. And tomorrow is my birthday. Oh, my happy birthday was 28 June. Yesterday, today is just like I'm covering it up, and tomorrow is my very, very good luck to you and all that. Your English is kind of rude. Welcome. And nowadays, a student hate their teachers. Again, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, think in this way. I was very lucky. Let that be very clear. I was very lucky. I had very, I think 4 or 5 good teachers. Of course, I had like 50, 60 teachers grand total, but like a few good teachers. And few good teachers made my life what it is. Again, I'm not swimming in money, but overall, my life is really good. And I'm happy with it. Like, not everybody gets that. And I understand it. And again, curiosity, if you suppress it beyond to like beyond a certain point, which Indians are known to do, it becomes a very, again, poison chalice. So it's one of those things. I watched that porn star interview. I got your point. Yeah, her father actually was good. Yeah, see, that's the whole point. She thought when she was younger, it's like, my father does not like me. It's like, it's like my father wants me to be poor. He knew that you rather have, less money than boatload of money and then be miserable the rest of your life, because we live very long lifespan. So that's the whole point. I do not recall the name, but it was a very, like, she starts like how you would expect this sort of interview to go. But then it was like, I see what happened. We need balls of steel. Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. That's what I'm saying. If somebody is correcting you, there is a very good chance they actually give a damn about you. And if people stop correcting you, if people are like, let's say in case of women, they're like, yeah, go OnlyFans. I'm like, really, nobody gives a two damn about it. Like, nobody loves you enough to tell you that you literally are throwing away skills that grows versus what? Like, I'm not joking. I hope I'm joking. I hope this is lie. I hope this is troll. That there are women who let go of doctor's career to become OnlyFans models. Yes, but that's all point. Religion versus atheism. Yeah, that's a pointless question. See, if you are religious, you are religious. If you are atheist, you are atheist. You do not talk about it. You do not confront it. It's like it is what it is. It's like you have to make peace with it. It's like, how hydrogen has to make peace with oxygen in water. You have to make peace with it. It's like it is what it is. It's what it is. Indian choice. Yeah, same point. It's like somebody, and here's the irony part. The OnlyFans, I hope it's wrong. It's made by a woman. It's made by a woman. I'm like, what the hell? But again, who cares? It's like that's why like I am slowly trying to reach a point where I'm like, hey, not my circus, not my monkey, me out. Now, oh, another thing is like for many of you who want to do electronics and all that, sooner or later you will reach a point where you have to buy something exquisite, something complex. You may have to go back to Mauser or DigiKey. In those sort of scenario, please A, have a credit card. B, please, nowadays, especially if you're buying microcontrollers, India has a export rule on top of it, that you have to have import export code, and I did not had it, so I had to write a basically a letter for them. It's like, hey, I'm an individual, I do not have that. So they fined me 1,000 rupees for it. And again, thankfully, I paid my CA, and he figured it out how to file the ICA. Make sure you have that if you are trying to get this sort of thing. So again, this is a very new system. So if you have, like, in past 2 3 years, it has changed drastically. So you have to be very mindful. And again, uh, I'm paying way too much. Double payment already happened because of card failure, and I do not even know how much I have to pay for that. Yeah. What happened to your relative who's married 3 times? No, no. 2 time marriage is done. He's looking for the third time, and I do not talk to him. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Share your email address. How I can share the previous question? What happened related to okay? Today is T20 World Cup. Huh, interesting. Nowadays, many Indian porn stars going, and some podcast YouTuber doing podcast with them. Yeah. See, money is a very attractive to women. Very attractive, like harmfully attractive to them. Meaning, I should not say this, but there many times you can ask them to sell things that they should never sell, but they will. Money, and I'm like, try to make a video on Utopia's problem. Yeah, that's a interesting, intriguing thing. I will see how people react to the ethics video that I have. Again, things are different. Like, as I learn, as I grow, I find things are very different. It's like, you would think like a teacher that is hard on you is like, does not want your, again, some are, but you will have a feeling that he wants you to improve, or they are like, you know what, I'm just like, I'm not getting laid in house. I'm like letting my steam on this dude. You will know when a teacher is like disciplining you, or when a teacher is just like letting his frustration. So it's one of those things. Okay, so it's 1 hour. This was a very interesting live stream. Surprisingly, lot of viewers and all that, and some good questions. That was very good. That was very good. So anyway, so this was my live stream. I hope you guys have liked it, learned from it, and in that case, please stay tuned for next week's live stream. Again, same times, I think, when ethics part 2, Friday. So I will see you guys in next live stream, Saturday, 7 p.m. evening Indian Standard Time. Bye.